So today we're going to be talking about Winds of Shadow, the last book of this trilogy, written by Nicki Pau Preto. And I have to say that I did love this one. My favorite book of the trilogy has been the first one and then the third one because the first one, it was amazing to discover all this new world that Nicki created, the phoenixes and the lore, and the story about the queens who were like in opposite sides of the battle, and then let's see how this story repeated itself, and you don't know what's going to happen between Veronyka and Val, and you don't know if Val is going to be able to have like a redemption arc, or if she's going to be evil to the end, or what's going to happen. And for me, I did love that the first book presented this toxic relationship between the sisters, because for me that's something that I like to see in books, because not all of us have been lucky enough to have like good relationships at our home. So when I see this kind of relationships, it like I feel seen in some way. I don't know how to explain that. And I did love to have Veronica, and I can identify with her a lot, because she wants to, at the beginning she doesn't get why her sister is the way she is. She thinks that she's less because her sister has been this abusive and toxic referent of her life, bringing her down and, you know, being selfish. And despite all of that, Veronica still wants to see her as a sister and to have her, you know, her approval and things like that. And I think that is something that everyone who has had like this kind of toxic relationship, when you're upbringing, when you're growing up, when you have it at home, let it be a mother or a sister or whatever, it's very different that if you encounter this relationship out in the world, so to speak, because then you can decide to leave. But when it's your mother or, you know, someone very close to you, someone in the family, it's quite different, because it's lots of just lots of things that are polluting, you know, because it's family, and it takes a lot of time for you to discover that this relationship is not normal. You always blame yourself, you always think that you are the guilty party, until you begin to discover that the world offers other kinds of relationships and that you are not the one in the wrong. So yeah, okay. I did love that we had this in the first book, and I love how in the second one that relationship gets more profundity. For me, it's like one of the best things of the trilogy, as I said. And in this one, we are going to have a very satisfying, I think, ending to that conundrum of Veronica and Val, whether Val can or cannot be redeemed. And I'm not going to say anything, you're going to have to read the book to find that out. But for me, it was a very satisfying end, and I did love how Nicki closed the trilogy in this book. I'm not going to make any spoilers. I will try to talk as little as possible about spoilers on the previous books, and I definitely won't say any spoiler about this one, make any spoiler about this one. But we are going to find our characters where we left them. Veronica, it's going to be in this position in which she knows she is the queen to be, so to speak, and Tristan has been taken. She wants to free him because she loves him, and she has this bond with him. She has the bond with Xephyra, her phoenix, and also with this human being, and she's trying to explore her shadow magic a little bit more and to learn how to control it. And this dream escape that she shares with Val, she's going to try to, you know, to come to terms with it and see if she can talk some sense into her sister. And Avalkyra, Val, on her side, she's going to be hatching Strixes, as you can see here, and she's going to be feeding her own personal void with her hatred and her desire of vengeance. And I think that in this book, Val is going to be darker than she was in previous books, because I think that in some way she's going to lose sense of who she really was at the beginning of all of this, and she's going to turn into a very toxic character, and she's going to change a lot. And it's like, you are so far gone, Val. I can understand where it all began for her, but you know, she's a character with so many layers. and you can understand where she's coming from and what she wants to achieve, and you can see how far she is. And I think in the book, in some place, they say that every time that she was fighting harder to get what she thought that she deserved, she was actually walking away and, you know, getting farther from the point where she wanted to be. So yeah. And so we are going to have chapters narrated by Spyro, which I think it's amazing because I love Spyro. She's a character that I love her so much. I mean, there's going to be some very big revelation related to her, but I love her a lot because she finds it easier to relate with animals than with people. She feels like animals are more noble, more, you know, and I share this vision with her. I prefer animals because people sometimes are like, ugh, and animals are always kind of honest. And I love the relationship she's going to have with Ignix, the first Phoenix. And I love everything that's going to be going on with her. And I also like how the relationship she has with Elliot, that's very tentative, that's very new. I like to see how it evolves, and, you know, and we are going to have chapters narrated by Elliot as well, and yeah. It's amazing. And also we are going to know more about Seb. He went as a spy so to see if he could help locate Tristan and send information to the Phoenix Riders so they can save him and all of that. And he goes through a bit of trouble because he feels when something happens and everything seems like it's sorting itself out, he begins to feel like he's no longer needed. And he's going to get into that place inside his head and where he thinks that no one needs him and that he doesn't have anything else to offer. And he's going to be in this very dark place in which he wants to leave, but he loves Kade. And it's going to be complicated, and their relationship brought me so many joy when things get a bit brighter. I don't think that I should tell you how much I love these two guys. I mean, they're amazing, and I'm not going to say any spoiler, but I love how they feel about each other, how Kade is trying to help Seb see that the value of a person is not in what they have to offer or to give, but on who they are and how what they are, how it translates into, you know, into this ability of helping someone and of enlightening someone, of being powerful on their own, you know, because you exist and you deserve to occupy this space and to breathe this air because you exist and you are valuable. Sorry, and, you know, it was amazing. I love this too. There's lots of things about this book. I think it's the darker one of the trilogy. We are going to be seeing war very close up. We are going to see the devastation that war can bring. And we are going to find somehow, we are going to see this conflict that has been repeating itself with the first Avalkyra and her sister, and we are going to see how it seems like history repeats itself with Veronyka and Avalkyra, and it seems like the world began with Ashfires and it looks like it's going to be ending with them. And there's lots of things going on in this book. I think, as I say, it's the most mature one, and there were moments in which I was left gasping. There is parts of this book so full with feelings that it's amazing how well Nicki transmitted all these feelings to the reader, and it was amazing. As I say, I did love parts of the relationship between Kade and Seb. I did love Spyro and how she feels and how she tells her story and the relationship she begins with Ignix. And yeah, as I said at the beginning, I love that Nicki chose to tell this story between two sisters that are different, and maybe they should complement each other, one being the light and the other the darkness. You can have one without the other, but I love that she dared to tell a story about one sister trying to dominate the other one, trying to tell her that she's worth nothing if she's not with her. Because there is something that, as I said at the beginning, people who have grown up with toxic relationships, that's something we have endured. And having someone abusing their power and their position to make you, you know, feel like shit and short. And I love how Veronyka comes onto her own, and she decides that she will find her own path in the first book, and then maintain that course of action, and then deciding for herself, no expectation. She still loves Val. She realizes that she will have wanted things to be different, but sometimes that's not a choice you can make, and you can decide whether or not you keep on feeding this toxic relationship, or you do something about it, or you forget, or you forgive, or whatever. I'm not going to tell you what happens at the end. So yeah, if you love the first one and the second one, this book is amazing. And as I say, for me, it's an incredible closure on this trilogy. And yeah, I'm very happy that I read this one, and I'm already missing the characters and the world, because I did love all the lore about the bonded pairs between the phoenix and the rider. I love this relationship between the animals and the person, and I love the magic that some people have, that like animages, that they, you know, with animals they have this relationship and they can, wow, it's amazing. Yeah, I did recommend this trilogy to you. So thank you for watching. Bye.